Hello everyone, today I'll be doing my first Boxo stuff video because, well, just because this first Boxo stuff video is it's PC controllers. In other words, controllers meant for the PC and also works for other consoles, I believe. Whether they work or not, I don't know, but we'll soon find out because yes, this box is, well, I was cleaning up and I decided, you know what, I might as well just make a short video of these controllers I have. So here we are, and in case you want to see the box, it's this box right here, and we will go through everything that's in this box because, well, I got nothing better to do, I suppose, and neither do you, I suppose, but who knows. And quite frankly, I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, so let's start off with this controller, which is wrapped up in wires. That's fun. That's always fun, I believe. I don't believe. But anyway, it is an Atari 2600 controller by Retro something. A good job, autofocus. Let me see. RetroLink. Yes, it's from RetroLink. I bought it so long ago I don't even remember. It has a button, it has a joystick, and you can see underneath because it's clear and everything. And best part about it, it lights up. Don't believe me? Well, it's powered through USB, so you get the power bank and you will plug it in, and whoa, that's bright. It's blue LEDs. I don't know if you can, well, it may look purple through the camera, but I could assure you it's blue because, you know, it's always blue. If it was green, then, well, you know the story. So there's that. So let's unplug it, and we're back to normal. So there's that. Next up, of course, I'll be pulling them at random. So there's that. Next up is also wrapped up in wires, this controller for, there we go, it's at play, or play symbol play, or it's just play. It is a PS3 controller, but also works for the PC, and I tested it out, and sure enough, I don't know the story of why I bought this, but whatever. I guess I needed to replace my somewhat working PS3 controller, but I mean, it's alright. I mean, plastics, I mean, it'll do the job. I mean, controlling it wise, it does it really well, you know, to an extent. But yeah, next up is another PlayStation themed controller. Is this one from, I always wrap these up in wires, so that's always fun. From good folks at Gravis. Yes, the good folks from Gravis. I don't know. Let's start that again. The good folks from Gravis. You know, these guys. The Gamepad Pro. That's all it is. It's you know, it's a PlayStation controller. You know, that's all it is. Just without the analog controllers. And yeah, you got 4 buttons that are colored red, yellow, green, and blue. Select and start. D-pad, it's alright. There's a hole in the middle for attaching the little arcade stick, whatever, but that thing has been lost through time. And oh yeah, L1 1 and 2 left and right, let's just say that. And of course, it's also powered through USB, so that's always fun, you know. And I think I've seen other versions of this that you have the Midi game port. But yeah, I have the USB version, so that's that. Right, next up is another controller. Good thing it's not wrapped up, but yep, it's the PC Pro Pad from Performance. Yes, those guys. You may have seen or even owned things from those guys, but yep, it's a PC controller. Enough said. I mean, what'd you expect? So there's that. You got your D-pad, you know, it's standard. Got A and B as opposed to B and A. Got speed 1 and speed 2 and auto fire, because it's always fun. And it's lacking the select and start button, so that's not good. Nice to think. I mean, a controller this, you know, of this magnitude, you could play your NES game, NES ROMs, whatever. Just lacking the select and start, which you probably have to map those to the keyboard, so there's that. And I did mention MIDI game port, and yep, this is what I'm talking about. Yep, it kind of, how could I say this? You know, it falls in the middle between serial and parallel, so there's that. You know, it's almost like that 9-pin joystick adapter or whatever. You know, that controller port with 9 pins, the one you plug in the Sega Genesis and all that. Well, it's a bit bigger, so there's that. And yep. And my desk is getting cluttered up little by little, so there's that. So next up is this controller, the Sega Saturn controller from Retrobit, which doesn't say anywhere. Well, I think it does say somewhere. Yep, it says it there, but you know, it's, you know, this, you can barely read it, and autofocus is not doing a good job. So, you know, it's from Retrobit, so there's that. D-pad, buttons, start, and oh, yeah, this one has some bit of a charge, so there's that. So yeah, you got your start button, your home button, and your select button, which by default, you know, Sega consoles and controllers lack the home and select button, so there's that. And of course, you got triggers, and you could charge it through micro USB, so there's that. And the red blinking LED is very annoying, so there's that. And oh, and it's purple. Well, you could barely make out it's purple, so and it's off. So yeah, I'm just rambling on this one. So yeah, it's a good controller. I mean, whatever milliamps this thing has, you can barely make out. Let's see, 500 milliamp. I think no, it's a really good controller. I'll just say that. And it also came with a dongle, but it's in the box, so if I manage to get it out, then yay. If not, then whatever. It's a dongle, you know what it is. It plugs into a open USB port, so there's that. Next up is this controller from Re. We are not the Wii, but it's Re. And yeah, so there's that. It's a 2-in-1 controller, needless to say. You know, D-pad, analog sticks with buttons you push down, face buttons, bumpers, triggers, select, start, turbo, home button, clear, yes, clear, and little LED thingy. There's that. So there's that. So what's on the other side? One would ask. A full-size QWERTY keyboard with not the best touchpad. I've never been a fan of never been a fan of touchpads on laptops and such, and this is no exception. It's horrible. I mean, let's just give it that. But hey, at least you know, I mean, you could type on it. I mean, I don't expect, you know, do your 5-paragraph essay on this thing, because yeah, I do not remember why I bought this. Oh yeah, because I needed a 2-in-1 controller for my Raspberry Pi thing, so there's that. Fun times had to be all, he said, and lied miraculously. Next up is this controller. Hey, remember this controller? You should. It was my very first DRS video, so there's that. Go ahead and look at it. I'll probably leave a link. If not, then yeah, go ahead and find it. Yeah, D-pad, buttons, home, buttons, yeah, you know what it is. I've done a full review of it, so I don't need to explain on that one. So there's that. And also, another thing I don't need explaining on, this NES themed mouse pad, also by 8-Bit Dough. It's also in that same video, so go ahead and look at it if you want a full review of it. So there's that. Next up is this controller. It's from the good folks at Logitech. It is the Logitech wireless Gamepad F710. And it's wireless, and it's a very, very damn good controller per se. I mean, D-pad's pretty good, analog sticks is pretty good, you know, with buttons. Got face buttons resemble Xbox 360, or should I call it PlayStation 360? because yeah, PlayStation, Xbox, back start, so there's that. You got mode, which will switch the left analog stick to D-pad, you know, D-pad being here and vice versa, and vibration, which turns the rumble feature on or off. And there's the home button, which you push here, the Logitech logo, that is your home button. Got bumpers, triggers, and a little switch that says X and D, which I got it backwards, you know, D and X, which it stands for direct input or X input, you know, because yeah, that's always fun. It runs off 2 AA's, which there's none, and there's the dongle that connects to your PC. You know how controls of this magnitude work, so I don't need explaining on that. Right, next controller out of the box is this one that's wrapped up in wires, a Sega Genesis Saturn controller. I say Sega Genesis Saturn because well, let's just say it's from Retrobit. Even says it right here, but you can barely make out. Yep, good D-pad, good face buttons. Not sure why there's triggers on a Sega Genesis controller. I mean, there's only one, which is mode, but yeah, start, and there's mode in the middle. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's there, but whatever. This will come very handy this coming October, hopefully. But yeah, so do keep an eye out, which hopefully I'll have a DRS video by then. And next up is, speaking of Sega controllers with 8 buttons or more than expect, a proper Sega Saturn controller. Again, wrapped in wires. Yep. There's a story to this one. Well, first off, you know, good D-pad, start button, face buttons work, and trigger buttons. One's a different color than the other. Yeah, here's story time. I did buy a Sega Saturn controller so long ago, I don't remember. And when I connected up to my Sega Saturn, the controller itself did not work. Which, well, I was like, boo. Instead of throwing it away, I kept it. And I bought one of those Retrobit Sega Saturn controllers. And the shape of it was perfect and everything else. So I might as well just take the board, the buttons, and everything else and put it onto here. And you'll note that this one, the right trigger is pink, while the left one is blue. When I put everything back together, for some reason, the right trigger, it snapped in half for some reason. I couldn't even super glue it, so I was stuck with using the trigger on this one. So yep, you know, from an aesthetics point of view, it does not look accurate. So I have a miscolored trigger button, but it's all, yeah. And it's also USB. Up to this point, everything else runs through USB, so there's that. I mean, it still works. I mean, you know, just, yeah. You know what these purists are gonna say, so yeah, there's that. And next controller is this one, also by Logitech. It is the Logitech Rumble Pad 2. It's the same as the wireless one, except it's, you know, this one's properly PlayStation 2, you know, based, because, you know, D-pad, analog sticks, face buttons, you know, blah, 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 blah. There's no home button because this was released before, you know, this thing came out and about. Yeah, one's wireless, one's wired. Yeah, go figure that one out. And it's also, yep, also USB, so it still works, so that's good. And what's next? Let's see if I get it out. If I can get it out. The Steam controller. Yes, I have it in here for a reason, because, you know, it's a controller for, you know, plug it into your PC and you can play games off Steam, because yep, there's the Steam logo. What could I say about it? It's alright. I mean, you got analog stick, face buttons, back start, home button. What's supposed to be a D-pad, it is a D-pad. It's also, which also doubles as a touchpad. Here's your proper touchpad, so there's that. Bumpers, triggers, and on the back, here's where you put the batteries. And it, for me, it was a pain getting the batteries in and out on this one, so I have no idea why. There's that. And also there's a, you know, got triggers on here, but yeah, I'm sure you've seen the reviews of the Steam controller. I don't think I need to do one, but yeah, there's that. I mean, it was so good. For some reason, Valve discontinued it because, yeah, that's Valve for you. Oh well. Alright, next up is this controller from Mad Catz. You've known Mad Catz. There we go. Yep, it's an Xbox 360 controller. Enough said. You know, get analog sticks, D-pad, face buttons, home button, back start, bumpers, triggers. You know the deal. I think my friend, let's just call him CJ. He recommended this controller to me, and I said, you know what? If I go to a Radio Shack or somewhere, when Radio Shack was a thing, if I find this controller, I'm gonna buy it. And sure enough, I did. And plug this into my PC. Also works 360, obviously. It does the job. It does it really, really well. It also runs through USB, which is quite obvious. I never quite understood this thing. This breakaway cable. Never understood why this was a feature, but dating back to the original Xbox, but oh well. I mean, cable's long enough, so there's that. So there's, yeah. Right, next up is, oh, there we go. This controller from Retro Power, the NES controller. Now, now these came free with the Lego set that I put together sometime last year. In fact, let me show it to you right now if I could get it out. It came free with this, so I got this, and these came with it. And in it is, of course, you put your Raspberry Pi in it. You know, that's all that. But we're not here for that. We're here for this. Yep. Do I need to explain this controller? I don't think so. I mean, it's NES, D-pad buttons, select start, runs USB. There's that. And if one's not enough, guess what? You get two of them, which is good. Also, not only did I buy this one, but I bought the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis ones, and here's what the controllers look like. Yep. Got your proper mode button here. So start in the there's no select. You got start here, you got mode here. You got a very good D-pad, you got very good face buttons. And yep. Of course, this is going to be very beneficial this coming October, if you know what I mean, or if you've been following up on you know, gaming news and all that such. Here's another controller that also came with it for free, and Super Nintendo controller. I mean, you don't necessarily have to use them on PC. It also works with Raspberry Pi. Basically anything that has, you know, USB port. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then oh well, you know, trial and error. That's what the process is all about. And there's that. Next controller is this one from Thrustmaster. Oh, don't knock the camera now. Why don't you? This one's from a company called Thrustmaster. I mean, they've been around for some time, and I don't know if they're still around. Who knows? Yeah, I think I bought this back in Best Buy, I believe in 2005, 2006. I don't quite remember. I mean, it's been a long time, and it still works to this very day. You got your D-pad, got face buttons that they're all the same, bumpers, USB. What more do you want? I know what I also want, a proper select and start button, or a back and start button. This does not have any, but you know, for the sake of it, you know, 6 buttons, you can have 6 buttons here, and have these back on select and start. You know, as long as it's mapped properly, then you should be fine. So there is that. What else is on the box? A power brick, which is of course a brick that gives out power, but more specifically, a power brick that powers the Steam Link. I have it in there for a reason, because I have nowhere else to put it in. But yeah, so there's that. That's very irrelevant. So there's that. And oh, if I could find it. Oh, not find it. I'm already getting, if I can get them out, needless to say. Here we go. Here are the dongles for both the Steam Link, that 8-bit Bedell controller, that Sega Saturn controller and that other controller. So yep, that's what dongles look like. Next up is this this joystick, flight stick, whatever stick. It's so big, I have very little room. I'm not gonna bother undoing the wire, so let's pick the camera up. So there, yeah. This one is a Microsoft Sidewinder Precision 2 joystick. Yep. A time when games like, you know, Flight Simulator was a thing. You could, you know, simulate your plane, fly your plane, all that stuff. Go, you know, pew 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 and all that stuff. And that's what it is. Got your pew 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 button, which is one. Three other buttons, your hat, which also doubles as a D-pad. 4 more buttons here. There we go, see it properly. 4 buttons here. Your throttle, because yes, you do need a throttle. And yeah, I mean, what more do you want out of this? So there's that. I'm not sure if joysticks are still being made to this day. I'm pretty sure there is, but I mean, yeah. Let's put that to one side, and we're on the home stretch now, folks. Something that I bought, put together, and everything else is this joystick. Yes, it is a joystick that powers through USB, or in this case, yep, it's powered through USB. So there's that. So, what's more to talk about that? Joystick, micro switch, buttons not micro switch. Got your coin, got your start. There's that. And what separates it from everything else is just I have here's another story time for this one. I bought this, which is, you know, film, you know, wood grain film and all that. Put that over it, and yep, it simulates. It has wood, but it's also plastic, you know. Pretty much there's that. And yeah, not much to talk about. I mean, I just happen to have, you know, arcade joystick parts, you know, laying around, and might as well put them to good use and build, not, well, necessarily not build per se, but, you know, put together a joystick with buttons and all that stuff. And they light up, but unfortunately I have no cords nearby, you know, to plug it in so you could see the colors, and on top of that, it'll mess up the auto exposure on the camera. So there's that. But take my word for it, they light up. Yes, you can barely make it out, but you know, yeah. So, and one more controller to finish it off. Let me go ahead and put the box down, because it's gonna be fun once we're done. That's not the only one I did. Another one, a black on black joystick controller, and yeah, yep. Now this one is different compared to the other one, because buttons for turbo, which I put on the bottom for good reason. Also, yep, those, yeah, suction cups. Micro switched, also micro switched. Also powered through USB. Now, unlike the other one, which had wood grain, this one is leather. Yep. If anyone fancying a leather joystick, so there it is. And the reason it came about is because my seat started ripping, and I had to buy some sheets of leather so I could, yeah, not so much replace, but patch the hole, that slit, and everything else. No need to talk about it. I fixed my car seat in my car, and it's all good. And whatever I had left, I decided to do this. So there is that. Alrighty, so that is about it from this first Boxo stuff video. Will I do more? Who knows? And quite frankly, maybe. Now the fun part begins, is putting all this stuff back in the box. But you don't need to see all that. So anyway, yeah, that'll do it for this Boxo stuff. If you want to buy any of these controllers that you see here, you know what to look for on eBay and Amazon and all that stuff. So there's that. Anyway, yep, that'll do it for me. So until then, yeah, I'm done. I gotta clean this stuff up. So anyway, yep, that'll do it. So until then, take care. See you on the next one. And yep, until then, see ya.